Right, so I'm with Justin now, and he's brought along his Pajero. It's a Japanese import car, so it's not been in the country too long, so it's a very, very solid motor. A lot of the UK models now are suffering from rust and stuff, so you've got the added bonus of it being a solid car that's not had the harsh winters, and it being the older generation where it's a lot more mechanically sound, so there's less to go wrong, less electronics, less problems all in all. So it's the equivalent of like the 300 TDI Land Rover kind of generation. So let's have a quick look round it, because it's got an amazing electrical setup in this. So first thing we notice is the paint. This is Raptor paint, is it?
It is, yeah. The paintwork was starting to look tired on it and had scratches on the side and bits and bobs, and it was just deciding what to do with it. Originally the car was silver. I saw this Raptor stuff, which is actually a bed liner paint, so it's a very heavy texture paint, and started off slowly doing bits of it really. So originally I started with the bonnet. I was so impressed with the way it applied itself onto there that I sort of carried on really. So I've done the roof rack and the whole of the car really.
How many bottles did you use on this?
I bought them off the internet and bought them as a set of 4. So basically it comes in a litre bottle. You add the hardener, shake it, and then just apply it with a shoots gun with a small compressor. So it took quite a bit to use, obviously, because you waste quite a bit of paint when you're on the roof rack doing the thin sort of strips of metal. So in the end I used 3 sets, so about 12 bottles, and that puts 2 to 3 coats on everything.
So cooking system, you've got the nice hanging rack here. That's just supported by the roof rack, is it?
Yeah, again, an idea pinched from YouTube. I've seen a couple of guys that have used this system before. As you see as we go around the back, I've pretty much racked out the back for storage and for refrigeration space. So I just wanted somewhere where if I pulled over, wanted to make a quick cup of tea, I didn't have to actually pull a table out and set one up on the floor. And it's literally a bit of ply. I think it's about 16mm, 12mm ply, something like that. And then I've just bought some straps, hung it on the side of the roof rack. Pretty simple really.
So this roof rack, is this one you've made yourself, or is this something that you've purchased?
Yeah, again, I started to look at roof racks, huge amount of money. It's a project that I didn't want to invest loads of money on, but I wanted the practicalities of being able to put the wheel up there to take it off the back door. I've also got a solar panel up there and some storage boxes and some water containers. So I bought some tube steel really, bought the original roof rack bars and attached it to those. It's a little bit strange because this particular Pajero has got a high roof on it, which is quite rare. So the sort of standard Pajero roof racks wouldn't fit it. Yeah, so I basically just had a small MIG welder and welded it, and again Raptored the roof rack and just basically made it to what I wanted.
So this is the bit everybody kind of likes, isn't it? 'Cause nobody's really got a set thing on.
Yeah,
on the back.
Again, you know, I looked at storage, you know, solutions, looked at drawers, very, very expensive to buy, and then decided to sort of plan it out myself and make it. Again, being a Pajero, some of the aftermarket stuff is quite difficult to find, so I just retrofitted a set of drawers. So I've got 2 drawers here which I tend to use, again, cooking equipment. This one pulls out slightly more than this one because the back of this drawer here is where my utility batteries are. So I've got 2 110 sort of marine batteries in the back there. And it's just MDF, that's all it is. MDF, I think I bought these from B&Q, they weren't very expensive, the hinges. Again, I've just racked it out the way I want it really. So I've got some control panels here. So I've basically got a cigarette socket, USB for mobile phone. I've got a charging. I've also got a light. And again with the door, I've just put some storage on there. Some tea and coffee and bits that I can grab. I keep a strip light up here again that I can just remove. And I've literally just wired that in from the heated rear window.
Right, yeah.
So I can just take the power from there as I'm driving along.
Now the fridge, this is what I like because this is really clever. It's not an overland fridge, is it?
No, it's not. It's literally just a domestic 240 volt fridge. pretty much, again, I looked at some of the Arb, Engel, some of the other refrigerations, huge amounts of money. And it's something I wanted to try, and this is a bit of an experiment really, because it's a small domestic fridge. I've got an inverter, so basically I just boosted up to 240. This particular fridge is about a 46 watt fridge. It's AA rated, and it probably pulls, I think, about sort of 5 amp hours. For camping wise, I thought the maximum I'd want to stop would be for 12-24 hours. This fridge is very well insulated as well, so you don't have to have it on all the time, and I pretty much have it on 1. And if you can see, it's running at probably about 5.
Yeah.
So again, I've done some sort of timings on it, and it tends to run for 1 minute, the compressor, and then it will knock itself out for about 4 minutes, and then back in for 1 minute. So it pretty much only runs probably, I don't know, probably about 15 minutes out of the hour. And again, I'm still trialling it at the moment.
So is that 15 minutes at 5 amp, or is it 5 amp over the hour?
Well, pretty much, I think I haven't really worked it out to the specifics. I know that I can pretty much, with a 100 watt panel, with the batteries fully charged, I can run this fridge for 2 days, and it doesn't take too much out. What I tend to do is put some frozen bottles of water in it before I start, which keeps the fridge down to a decent temperature, and then I turn it off at night, and then just switch it back on in the morning again. It tends to be, if you're not opening and closing the door throughout the night, it tends to keep a good temperature in the fridge.
So what was the thinking on having the is that water or is it fuel?
It will be that's for fuel, the jerry can on the back. I've got 2 double waters up there. The plan is to put an inline pump inside here.
Yep.
And then literally you can just unscrew the tap, drop the hose in, and then have some form of pump coming down here, so I can just pump on demand.
Yeah.
I was a bit concerned. I wasn't too sure what I was going to put on the door, and with climbing up and down on the ladder.
Is that why you got rid of the wheel then, or?
Well, when I originally moved to 35s, it's quite a big wheel to have on the back door, so I decided just to move it up onto the roof rack.
So you've gone to 35s. Is there any scraping issues or anything like that yet? Or
the back, this is a standard height vehicle, so I've played around with the torsion bars slightly on the front, but I haven't touched anything with suspension as yet. On the front, I had to cut away slightly a bit of the bumper. So again here, I just had some clearance issues here. And it used to catch just slightly on the inside there, but then with it, I raised it about 1.5 inches on the torsion bar, and it then stopped rubbing there.
And eventually you're uprating that to Patrol, did you say?
Yeah, if I put Nissan Patrol springs on the back, it'll lift it 2 inches, and then I'll probably just another inch on the torsion bars just to level it out slightly.
This is where the magic happens.
So again, pretty much solar controller at the top there.
Yeah.
And then distribution. I've run 2 separate systems, so I've got a 12 volt system and a 2 volt 240 system. So on the side of the vehicle here, I've got a 240 in, so if I end up going to a campsite, I can plug in.
Will that also charge your batteries from the house, or?
It does, yeah. So I've got about a 10 amp battery charger in there. So if I plug that in, it will start to charge my batteries, and then it's just a case of me unplugging the fridge out of my inverter and plugging it into the 240 socket, and then it's just reliant on the 240.
Brilliant.
Good entry level.
But even at an entry level, I mean, I've seen them for £500 that are rotters for like pay and play. £1,000 buys you something and decent. I mean, you dropped on with a really nice one here, but even if it was up to £1,500, you can't get anything else for that money. Of that quality. Yeah. And with it being Japanese engineering, it's still going to be in good order, isn't it?
So really, I'm just playing at it. I'm trying different things with the fridge, trying different things, just to see what works and doesn't work.